Alright, let's talk about something that can be a bit awkward, maybe even a tad uncomfortable, interacting with the police. Look, nobody loves the idea of a police encounter, right? It's like unexpectedly running into your gym teacher at the grocery store while you're buying cheese puffs. Avoidable, potentially embarrassing. But here's the thing, especially in a place like Papua New Guinea, understanding how to navigate these interactions while respecting human rights is incredibly important. Now, I'm not saying every police officer is out there dressed like Judge Dredd, just itching to lay down the law. But let's be honest, power dynamics can be weird and misunderstandings happen. That's why we're arming you with some essential guidelines to help you stay safe, informed, and hopefully a little less likely to end up as an anecdote on this channel. Think of this as your crash course in how to not become a cautionary tale. Papua New Guinea edition. We're going deep on your rights, what to do if things get a bit dodgy, and most importantly, how to make sure your interaction with the police is about as eventful as a beige wall. Buckle up, because knowing your stuff is empowering, and frankly, way more interesting than another cheese puff run. First up, let's talk about the law, because surprise, ignorance isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card. It might work with your friend who still thinks Nickelback is good, but not with the law. Familiarize yourself with the local laws in Papua New Guinea, especially those related to public behavior, protests, and gatherings. Basically, anything that might put you on the radar. Think of it like reading the terms and conditions before clicking "I agree" online. Sure, it's tedious, but in this case, it could save you from a world of legal hurt. And trust me, dealing with legal issues in a foreign country is about as fun as a root canal performed by a mime. You don't want that. Now, this one might seem obvious, but it's crucial. Treat police officers with respect. I know, sometimes it feels like they're going out of their way to make that difficult, but trust me, being confrontational is like pouring gasoline on a smoldering barbecue. It just makes things worse. Remember, police officers are just trying to do their jobs, which, let's be honest, probably involves dealing with a lot of nonsense. So, be polite, follow their instructions, and save the snarky comebacks for your online enemies. Here's the thing, you have rights, even when dealing with the police. It's like that one friend who always calls shotgun before you even get in the car. Non-negotiable. In Papua New Guinea, you have the right to remain silent, the right to ask for legal representation, and the right to know why you're being detained. Think of these rights as your invisible shield against any potential overreach. Memorize them, write them on your hand, tattoo them on your forehead. Maybe not that last one, but whatever you do, know them cold. Chapter 4. Document interactions. Okay, this one is important but also tricky. If possible, and I want to stress, try to document your interactions with the police. Think of it like taking photographic evidence of your roommate eating the last slice of pizza. Undeniable proof. Now, I'm not saying whip out your phone and start live streaming the encounter like it's Coachella for law enforcement. Be discreet, be safe, and only do it if you feel it's absolutely necessary to document any potential abuse of power. Chapter 5. Seek legal aid. Alright, let's say the worst happens, and despite your best efforts, you find yourself in a situation where you feel like your rights are being violated. First of all, don't panic. It's like spilling red wine on your white shirt. Freaking out won't help. Instead, seek legal assistance as soon as possible. There are organizations and legal aid groups in Papua New Guinea that are like the legal avengers, ready to swoop in and fight for your rights. Don't hesitate to reach out. They're there to help. Chapter 6. Avoid unnecessary risks. This one's all about common sense, folks. Just like you wouldn't wear Crocs to a job interview, I hope, it's best to avoid high-risk areas or activities that could attract unwanted police attention. Think of it like this. You wouldn't jump into a pool full of sharks wearing a seal costume, would you? Same principle applies here. Stay aware of your surroundings. Avoid being out alone late at night in dodgy areas. And basically, don't be a walking, talking target. Knowledge is power, my friends, especially when it comes to navigating the often confusing world of law enforcement. Stay up to date with local news regarding police activity or changes in law enforcement behavior. Think of it like checking the weather app before leaving the house, but instead of rain, you're looking out for potential legal storms. Joining local or online communities can be incredibly helpful, offering insights and real-life experiences that could save you a lot of trouble. Chapter 8. This one's important, folks. Always, and I mean, promote non-violent approaches in your interactions. Remember that barbecue analogy from earlier? Violence is like dumping an entire bottle of lighter fluid on it, explosive and utterly unnecessary. If you're involved in protests or public demonstrations, make sure they remain peaceful. Remember, channeling your inner Gandhi is always a better look than your inner Hulk. Chapter 9. Look, dealing with potential legal issues can be incredibly isolating, but it doesn't have to be a solo mission. There are human rights organizations in Papua New Guinea that are like the supportive friend who brings you soup when you're sick. They've got your back. These organizations can provide support, guidance, and even legal advice if needed. Remember, there's no shame in asking for help. It's actually the smart thing to do. Chapter 10. All right, last but not least, let's talk about de-escalation. If you see a situation with the police starting to heat up and it's safe to do so, just walk away. Think of it like politely excusing yourself from a conversation that's gotten too spicy. Sometimes, it's best to just remove yourself. Avoiding large gatherings that could attract police intervention is also a good idea, unless you're fully prepared for the potential consequences. Remember, discretion is often the better part of valor, especially when dealing with situations that could go sideways quickly. Outro. So, there you have it, your guide to navigating police encounters in Papua New Guinea without ending up as a cautionary tale. Remember, these guidelines are here to empower you, not to scare you. Knowing your rights and how to interact respectfully with law enforcement can make a world of difference. Now, I'm not saying these tips are foolproof. Life is messy, situations are unpredictable, and sometimes things just go wrong. But by arming yourself with knowledge and a healthy dose of common sense, you're giving yourself the best possible chance of navigating these encounters safely and fairly. And remember, if you ever feel like your rights have been violated, don't hesitate to reach out for help. There are organizations and individuals who dedicate their lives to fighting for justice, and they're just a phone call away. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, knowledge is your best defense.